They laughed when she said it. A sharp, careless laugh that cut through the hallway like cold air. "Fly this helicopter and I'll marry you," the CEO mocked, pointing at the janitor with a smile that held no kindness at all. She had no idea that sentence would come back to silence the entire room. If stories about unexpected kindness, hidden strength, and moments that change lives move your heart, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're watching Kindness World, where small acts of kindness create the biggest miracles. The janitor's name was Daniel. He had been cleaning the corporate headquarters for nearly 3 years. Every morning before sunrise, he mopped floors that shined only because no one noticed him. He fixed broken chairs, wiped fingerprints off glass walls, and quietly greeted people who rarely looked back. To most employees, he was invisible. To some, he was just a uniform pushing a cart. The CEO, Lauren Whitmore, was known across the company as brilliant, bold, and brutally honest. She built the firm from nothing and demanded excellence from everyone. What she didn't demand was kindness. That morning, she was already irritated. A major deal was falling apart, and stress followed her like a shadow. As she stepped into the private hangar attached to the building, she noticed Daniel standing near the company helicopter, carefully wiping dust from its landing skids. He wasn't supposed to be there. Irritated, she snapped, "You're cleaning the wrong place. This isn't your job." Daniel looked up, startled. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I was told to make sure everything was spotless for your trip." Lauren scoffed. She glanced at his worn gloves and faded uniform, then at the sleek helicopter behind him. A sarcastic smile crossed her face. "You know what?" she said loudly, aware of a few executives nearby. "Fly this helicopter and I'll marry you." Laughter echoed. Someone shook their head. Another person smirked. Daniel felt his face burn, but he didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. He simply nodded and went back to work. What no one knew was Daniel's real story. Years earlier, Daniel had been a U.S. Army helicopter pilot. He flew rescue missions overseas, pulling wounded soldiers out of impossible situations. He saved lives under fire. On his final mission, his helicopter was hit. He managed to land it safely, but the injuries he suffered ended his military career. The long recovery drained his savings, and caring for his younger sister after their parents passed away left him needing steady work fast. So he took the janitor job. Not because it matched his past, but because it paid the bills. He never spoke about his service. He didn't want praise. He believed dignity came from doing your job well, no matter what it was. Later that day, chaos broke out. Lauren was preparing to fly to a critical meeting when her pilot collapsed suddenly near the hangar. Medical staff rushed in, but the truth became clear fast. There was no one else available to fly the helicopter, and the meeting couldn't be delayed. Weather conditions were worsening, and time was slipping away. Panic filled the air. That's when a quiet voice spoke up. "I can fly it." Everyone turned. Daniel stood there, hands steady, eyes calm. Lauren stared at him in disbelief. "This isn't funny," she said sharply. "I'm not joking," Daniel replied. "I'm a licensed helicopter pilot. Former Army." The room went silent. Someone quickly checked his credentials. Another made a call. Within minutes, the truth was undeniable. Daniel wasn't lying. Lauren felt something twist in her chest. Embarrassment. Shock. Regret. With no other choice, she nodded. "Then, let's go." As the helicopter lifted into the sky, Lauren watched Daniel's hands move with confidence and precision. He navigated through heavy winds like it was second nature. There was no fear in his voice, no hesitation in his actions. For the first time in a long while, Lauren felt safe. When they landed smoothly, she didn't speak right away. Her earlier words echoed in her mind, heavy and cruel. After the meeting, Lauren asked Daniel to sit with her. "Not as a janitor. As a man, I owe you an apology," she said, her voice softer than anyone had ever heard it. "What I said to you was disrespectful. I judged you without knowing a single thing about your life. Daniel smiled gently. It's okay. You weren't the first. But Lauren wasn't done. She listened as Daniel shared his story. The service. The sacrifice. The quiet strength. And something inside her shifted. Over the next few weeks, things changed. Lauren didn't just promote Daniel to a role that matched his skills. She changed the culture of the entire company. She started greeting employees by name. She thanked the cleaning staff. She created programs to support veterans and workers struggling in silence. One afternoon, as they stood by the hangar again, Lauren looked at Daniel and smiled, this time without sarcasm. You know, she said, you did fly the helicopter. Daniel laughed. Yes, ma'am. I did. She smiled back. I'm glad I learned who you really are. The rumor about marriage became a joke people laughed about later, but the lesson stayed serious. Titles mean nothing without humanity. Kindness reveals what pride hides. Daniel continued working with pride, no longer invisible. And Lauren became a leader not just known for success, but for compassion, because sometimes, the people we overlook are carrying the greatest stories. And sometimes, one moment of humility can change everything. So the next time you pass someone without noticing, pause. Kindness doesn't require knowing someone's past. It only requires seeing their worth, and when we choose kindness, we don't just change their story. We change our own.